We're looking at minicamp and OTA clips, getting ready for training camp, and today we're looking at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, getting a good look at Baker Mayfield. We're going to watch him work through some drills, throw the rock around, and everything else. Before we dig in, you need to click that subscribe button right now. We're looking at practice every day, and training camp will be here soon. You want to see what your rookies are doing, those quarterback battles, who's climbing the depth chart, those guys you're drafting in fantasy football here soon. Click that button. Stop missing out. We're looking at Baker Mayfield today. We got 4.5 minutes of clips from OTAs, minicamp coverage. But we're talking ball, seeing what we want to see from this team in training camp most of all today. Because there's a lot of questions here with every team. But with Baker Mayfield, we got more depth on this team than ever before. More talent in this wide receiver depth chart than ever before. Bucky Irvin proved himself last year. He's a hot prospect going into year 2. Rachaad White catches the ball out of the backfield. Sean Tucker is an underrated RB3 on their depth charts. We got some players here. They drafted Emeka Egbuka in the first round. You got a first-round wide receiver, a big, powerful wide receiver to put in the slot or have moved around on the outside. Jalen McMillan's still a stud. Can create separation on a whim. And then on top of that, you got the vets. Godwin's back. You got Mike Evans. Mike Evans just being steady Eddie throughout his career. Last year we saw injuries at the wide receiver position, but they're making sure they're stuck with talent. They're stuffed with it. Tez Johnson, a late round gem that could make an impact for this team. Can create separation on a whim. And now you're looking at a team here that's getting nastier and nastier. That's the thing about this. It's getting nastier and nastier, and Baker Mayfield's here to lead the charge. Baker Mayfield could have the best season of his career this year. If everybody stays healthy, if these veterans keep trucking, which I don't see why they shouldn't to some degree, they should keep trucking. And if one of these young wide receivers exceed expectations between Emeka Egbuka and McMillan, or maybe Tez Johnson gives you a little bit more, because this is a good wide receiver group. This is a good batch of wide receivers here that you got good role players, you got top end picks, you got good route runners, you got a little bit of everything too, because you got Mike Evans, the contested catch magnet downfield with the sticky hands. You got a little bit of everything. Baker Mayfield, drafted by the Cleveland Browns, went there. And the Browns messed up. You look at what's going on over there. They're trying to figure out quarterback every single season, from Deshaun Watson to a 4-way quarterback battle right now. And now you're looking at what the Bucs are able to do with Baker Mayfield here and just getting the players around him, allow him to do his thing, instilling confidence with him. And he showed some flashes with the Panthers as well. Just being able to distribute the rock a little bit, dumping it off a little bit with the Rams. The fact that he was able to just stay calm, rejuvenate his career, develop, be patient, change his mindset a little bit like he's discussed. This is a quarterback that's just evolving over the years. That's what I talk about. We watch training camp every year looking at these players, how they're developing, because players get better. It's not like what they did at the end of college and that's it for the rest of their career. They get better. Like a player can be bad, then get better. A player can be all right, then get better. They could also get worse. That's why you need to keep watching these players, seeing what they're doing. Baker Mayfield has always been good, but he's been getting better. And they got the players around him. They got the tools around him. They're deep at running back, deep at wide receiver. And they allow him to push it downfield. He's very aggressive, but not ignorant with the football. This is a scary situation here in Tampa Bay. If we can get some players, just a couple, to exceed expectations. Not a full roster, not a bunch of players, just a couple of these wide receivers, that they exceed expectations here. And you have the likelihood of that happening because Emeka Egbuka is a good route runner. Former 5-star recruit out of Ohio State. That was very productive there. And he's a very nuanced technical player. He's very reliable. Jalen McMillan has a good rapport with Baker Mayfield. This time last year, that's all we were talking about. The rapport he has with Baker Mayfield and how fast that was accumulating. And it was looking good in training camp. We start off the season running a lot of routes. We got banged up in between the season, but we came back and had a strong end of his rookie year. Now you got 4 good wide receivers, 2 very good prospects, one already starting to blossom. The other one looks like is a good fit because he's very technical. He's a very smart player. And then you got Mike Evans, a Hall of Fame wide receiver, just looking at you in the face. And Father Time is always going to win, but it looks like he's fighting him off pretty good. You got Chris Godwin coming back from an injury, but he got that contract. So that's something to pay attention to, and he's a crafty vet. You can move him around. You got a lot here. And if the injuries hit the wide receiver depth chart again, you have good depth here now. Like solid depth. One of the deepest wide receiver depth charts in the league. We can spread the ball around. If healthy, if we can stay healthy this full season, Baker Mayfield's going to have some numbers. Baker Mayfield's going to be able to move the chains. There's some games where this team's in some shootouts. And while being in those shootouts, while Emeka Egbuka's developing, just being out in those wide receiver 4 or 5 packages, being moved around with those stud wide receivers, and you're having to shoot it out, that's going to help this team a lot. That's going to help this team a lot. Move the chains, give that fourth corner something to look at, that nickel corner, whatever's out there, or you got to move a linebacker on him. That's a mismatch because you're not used to looking at first-round talents that deep on the depth chart in your packages. You got Tez Johnson. Tez Johnson is very underrated. Very underrated. He could be a tremendous role player for this team. Like a huge role player on this team that could really help out Baker Mayfield, help out the offense. He could be a standout asset and be a guy. He could be more than advertised. For fantasy football, maybe not, but I'm talking about a good role player on this team that could have some moments every single year. Like getting open, helping Emeka Egbuka, helping McMillan down the road as we're transitioning from Evans and Godwin era, as we're transitioning and leaving that, but helping them as well. Like you can go deeper in your packages. You're late in the game. It's a shootout. You're going 5 wide, maybe even more. You pull out Tez Johnson. He's creating separation, making big plays. You got other players from last year. You got Shepard. You got a lot of talent here. You're deep. You're deep. I look for Baker Mayfield to have a good season. I look for him to have a good season. I look for him to have one of the best seasons of his career, if not the best season. Unless he gets hurt, unless one of those wide receivers or multiple wide receivers get hurt. Like it's something outside what we can control. But with we can control and everything continues to look good health-wise, I just can't see him not looking good. Bucky Irving going into year 2. Rachaad White getting mixed in with that. They like to use 2 running backs at the same time on the field. They like to be creative. A lot of teams are copying how this team runs. A lot of teams are doing that. You can see that with their transactions. And you can see, or you'll hear some of the coaches mention that in their press conferences, how they're implementing how the Bucs run their offense with 2 running backs. Like a few of them have noted that, and a few of them are looking like they're trying to do that with their transactions. So you're getting some copycat of the Bucs, which means they're on the right pace of doing something grand here. Now it just all got to hit together. That's the thing about this. It's all got to come together here. Baker Mayfield's a good dude. Like, we saw this out of Cleveland. I remember at Oklahoma where he put the flag at the 50 against Ohio State. Like, he's a good dude. He's a fiery dude, but yet cool, calm, collected, mature. What if the Bucs exceed expectation, we get a deep playoff run, next thing you know, we're in the hunt. We're in a hunt. How exciting would that be? How exciting would that be to see? I know there's Bucs fans on the channel right now watching this, getting excited with what I'm saying, but what I'm looking at here is if you get a couple of these young wide receivers, and it's Emeka Egbuka and McMillan, Tez Johnson a little bit, just exceed expectations a little bit this year. A little bit. And just come into their own. Start showing off what they can do, this offense could be nuclear. It could be. Now, the caveat to that is if it doesn't happen, that's always going to be the case. That's an easy thing to call out. But if you can get those young guys to exceed expectations, like they're good, but I'm saying, hey, get to your potential upside or closer to that, develop better, get better throughout the offseason and training camp. Like McMillan had a good rookie season last year. Came on strong, came on fast too, as we saw in practice last year. And Emeka Egbuka is a very nuanced technical route runner. And he's very equipped to develop fast in the NFL game. May never be like a Jamar Chase or Justin Jefferson or anything like this, but a high-end role player getting a lot of targets in this offense, helping Baker Mayfield alongside McMillan and the vets. That's looking solid. I like that. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I want to hear about that. Make sure you hit that subscribe button on the way out. One thing for watching. Catch you on the next video.